Alright, here's my Nelson traveling rain train. For those of you who have one, know it works pretty well, especially in established grass. It pulls its 200 feet of hose like the manufacturer says it does. However, the problem I found is when you're establishing new grass on fresh topsoil, the rear tires sink into the mud pretty hard and just start spinning, especially after you start getting over the area that the sprinkler already passed. And it'll probably only pull about 30 feet of hose at that point. And then it starts slipping pretty bad. So, I came up with a modification for it. There's my swampers. I'm going to install them on and see how they work. Let me know if there's any interest out there for anybody who want to purchase them. I can start mass producing them. Okay, to remove the original wheels, there is really no easy way about it. I basically just kind of start driving the screwdriver, start with a little one, start prying this up, prying it up, prying it up, work all the way around, prying it up. And eventually when you get the washer kind of cupped upwards, it should come off. There's inside these little tabs. See them right there? One on both sides. That lock into a groove on the shaft. It's hard to tell, but there's a little tiny groove on the shaft. So drive that up, then the wheel removes, and there's a pin on the back side that actually drives it. The replacement wheels have the opposite feature, and I don't know why, but I added two just in case one wanted to strip out or one got wore out a little bit. Basically this just slides on, but you got to rework this washer a little bit. See how it's cupped backwards? I'm going to try and cup it back in with a pair of pliers. Then you got to make sure that the tabs are inside a little bit so it locks back down on that groove. Might be able to see it better now. Yeah, see that little groove there? Okay, now I got this washer bent back to at least straight or cupped back towards the wall or back towards the wheel. And these little tabs, I have to make sure they're inside a little bit. I simply did that by taking a pair of vice grips or channel locks and just grabbing them with the edge and pushing them back in. Now if you screw this up too bad, don't worry. You can always drill this shaft through and use a cotter pin. Simply to put the wheel back on, line up the tabs on the bottom with the T on the drive shaft. Just like so. You should be able to turn it, feel it drop in. There we go. Now my groove is sticking out. Put my washer back on. And find a socket or something similar that's the right size to fit over and pound the washer back on. Just tap it a couple times with a hammer. And like I said, if it doesn't work and this cap doesn't stay on, you can always drill that shaft and put a little cotter key in. But you need to put it kind of tight, so the purpose of that washer is to keep the wheel tight against the drive T. That's the simple installation of my new swampers. I'll let you know how they work in a little bit. Again, if you guys, if anybody seems interested in purchasing some, I'll consider making them and selling them. Just let me know if there's any interest in it. Okay, here's my rain train with dual modifications. I got dually wheels on them. They're actually about 2 1/3 bigger than or wider than the original wheels. Hopefully she won't sink in the mud as deep and keep on pulling some hose. And I also have the nozzles adjusted to use a little bit less water. It actually looks like maybe my spray pattern is slightly smaller, but it's hard to tell with the wind blowing. I'll have to give it some time see what the pattern is actually on the ground, and I'll report back on how much hose she can pull. Okay, here's the result of the test with the new Swamper tires. It traveled about 150 feet last night before it wound up eventually getting stuck in the mud. It traveled from just beyond those 3 tree clusters to the left. It traveled all the way down here, and then just started spinning in the mud. This is actually a really soft area of the topsoil to start with, but quite an improvement over the 50, 60 feet that it would travel before. So all in all, a success, and I'm sure it'll do a lot better once I have some more established grass.